going to be giving, he's going to be evaluated by Martin D.
Garrison.
Here, I won't, okay, great. Thank you. So, Mike, could you tell us a little bit about the objectives of your speech and, you know, what number it is so we can all kind of follow along with what you do?
Yes, it's CC Manual speech number 10, and I've done the CC Manual a couple of times, so I'm going in reverse order this time. So it's number 10, but then you'll probably hear more earlier speeches later. And it's more of a serious speech that focuses on the importance of joy, but it has hopefully pockets of humor.
Great. I have a picture. The speech is called "The Woman I Love," and Mike Carr, come on up.
I love Jeannie Hornsby. And I want you to love her too. Jeannie is dying in the most joyful, glorious way possible. I've known Mike and Jeannie Hornsby for a long time. They've known me since I was very little. And when I first heard that Jeannie had Parkinson's, I called her and I said, "Jeannie, I don't know what to say." She interrupted me and she said, "Mike, you know what the best thing about having Parkinson's is?" No, actually, I don't. She said, when we have sex, the ground literally moves. I was silent. I mean, what does one appropriately say to that? Jeannie broke into my silence and she said, "Mike, don't you know nothing can beat you if you can laugh at it?" So Jeannie approaches having Parkinson's like it's great material given to a comedian. She was telling me that there was one time that she and her husband Michael are sitting in church, and all of a sudden her hand started trembling. So Michael took her hand to try to keep it from trembling, but she began to see that he started getting upset by that. And so she leaned over and she said, "Hey, tell you what, why don't I just put my hand into your pocket and then people will wonder what we're doing over here." He started to chuckle and then started laughing so hard he had to get up and walk out of church. People came up to her afterward and they said, "I saw Mike leave. Is he okay?" And she said, "Well, I think he was just very offended by the sermon." She threw him under the bus. Michael tells me that every day, in order to be able to get through the day, Jeannie has to get up and will walk 30 minutes on the treadmill, but she can't go longer than 2 to 5 minutes at a time before she has to lay down on the ground and rest. So she says, "Oh, I've never realized how wonderful the ceiling can be and all the patterns that are there." And that's the way she has lasted this long. Now, this is not some positive thinking, there are no weeds in my garden, if I just believe enough kind of martyrdom crap. Jeannie fully realizes the kind of death that someone with Parkinson's has and that is coming for her. But she will tell you that in every single day, for all of us, there is searing tragedy and there is intense joy. And the quality of our lives depends completely on which one of those we force our minds to focus on. I was sitting with Michael Hornsby in a crappy little diner in Tulsa, Oklahoma, with the best cinnamon rolls you've ever tasted, red and white checkered tablecloths, and white linoleum floors. Michael sat there and he stirred his coffee and looked into it. He said, a few months ago, Jeannie went to a routine doctor's appointment. The doctor saw something a little wonky decided to take some blood tests and came back and let them know that Jeannie now has a rare blood cancer. Michael drove her home. She disappeared into their study for about 5 hours, and after that she emerged and said, "Michael, I have some great news. I don't have to die from Parkinson's." He sat there and continued to stir his coffee, and he just said, "You know, she lives every minute of every day to the full. And I have come to realize that to truly love Jeannie Hornsby means that I live every minute of every day. Whether she's here, when she's gone, I will fill life with life." Jeannie said to her husband Michael, who's quite a joker, she said, "You know, you imitate everyone else around you. Why don't you do impersonations of me?" She had begun to have to stoop over, and she actually thought it looked rather comical. He said, "Honey, I don't think I can do that." She said, "Oh, come on. You imitate everybody else. You do these great impersonations. Why not me?" So one night, she's sitting in their front room, and in bursts Michael Hornsby, and he says, "Oh, look who am I? I'm Jeannie Hornsby. I'm Jeannie Hornsby." At which point, she fell over on the couch laughing. And said, "Oh, that's perfect. Come and dance with me like Jeannie Hornsby would." And so, in the middle of their front room, as the light streamed through the front windows, they turned and danced because she put on her favorite music. All stooped over, all. I thought about that the other night as I watched, in horror actually, as an SUV plowed into the car behind me. And I don't think that driver made it. And I thought, you know, if that had been me, have I really lived? Have I lived as much in my years as Jeannie has lived in just this last 3? And something happened that has caused me to do so now. And I can tell you, if something happened to me, I plan on living another 60 years, but if my box is checked later tonight, it's been a good run. The last time I saw Jeannie, I was leaving, and she said, come here and hug me." So I came over and I hugged her, and she slipped something into my hand. It was a rock that had on the other side, scrawled with a black Sharpie in a shaky hand, one word: live. And so I have tried to, ever since then, every minute of every day to the full. I dearly love Jeannie Hornsby. And I would beg you to love her too.